Good morning. Hello, guys. How's it? Welcome to Wednesday Wake Up. Good morning. It is, well, chilly this morning. My gosh, time for the double hoodies before heading out to gym in the morning nowadays. Cool. Listen, I want to talk about something quite important. I actually was listening to a guy who I absolutely love, absolutely adore him. He's an awesome guy. Steve Sims, and he's actually known as the real live Wizard of Oz. He is a London guy from East London, and he lives in California. He was a bricklayer. That's how he started out, and we've got a phenomenal rapport, Steve and I, and he literally can make anything happen. Anything. So you want it, you can afford it, he will make it happen. He's arranged people taking people in a submarine right down to the seabed to see the Titanic. It's just the crazy stuff. He has actually closed the museum, had the museum closed, so a party of 10 people could actually have dinner at the feet of the statue of David. It's just incredible stuff. You name it, he can arrange it. As he's known as the real live Wizard of Oz. Anyway, enough about Steve. I was listening to a Facebook Live he did this morning in a group that I'm a member of. And he was at what we call a Genius Network run by Joe Polish, another amazing guy in the US. And he was giving some feedback on the tidbits that he had learned and from the Genius Network, from speakers like the amazing, phenomenal speakers at the Genius Network, just incredible. And he was making notes and he was sharing it in this Facebook group. And the one thing that he said, I say it in a different way a lot of times. But there's one thing, and it's just an interesting, different way of saying it, because I often talk about what really is heaven and what really is hell. And the topic for this is what is hell. And this is a really good way for me. It really struck me, and I'm absolutely no doubt it will strike you. And he said, and this is not coming from Steve, this is coming from one of the speakers who actually faced death and came back from the brink of death, this one speaker, a well-known guy. Anyway, he said, hell on earth would be meeting the man you could have been, or the woman you could have been. That's what hell on earth is. And I think that's what hell is. And I think, apart from the fact that one of my favorite philosophies, or one of my primary philosophies that I live by, is I'd rather have the whole world against me than my own soul. And I think this speaks to that very much. So I think it's a very important topic. And I think it's a very important topic when you take it in context for what I spoke about on Monday. If you remember, on Monday, it was about this week, you get clear on your why. Because if you're not clear on your why, you're not going to be able to live the life that you would absolutely love to live. So that one day when you are asked, did you absolutely do everything you could with everything that you were given, you want to be able to say yes. Because if you can't say yes, that is like meeting the man or the woman that you could have been. It's like looking back and seeing the lost opportunities, the wasted days, the wasted decades, the wasted years, and the wasted life. And I think this is such a powerful principle. Hell on earth would be meeting the man or the woman that you could have been. And when you tie that into, I'd rather have the whole world against me than my own soul, when you live with that, when you live life like that, in that vein, then when you get that opportunity to see, when you reflect back, when you're in the last moments of being on this precious earth, you look back and you say, you want to be able to say, yes, I've done everything I could with everything that I've been given. I mean, that is the definition of heaven. Hell on earth is denying your own soul in order to fit in with everyone else, the whole world. But heaven is it's honoring your soul, being okay with being against everyone else. So I'd rather have the whole world against me than my own soul. And none of that is possible. None of that is likely to happen unless you are crystal clear on your why. Your why needs to drive absolutely everything you want to do, everything you want to be, and everything you want to have in life. There's a really, really, really good, and I want to talk about this more. Actually, I'll talk about it on Friday. There's another angle to this I want to talk about. What is your guiding principle? What is it that you want over anything else in life? What is it? What is your North Star? What is your why? What is your North Star? And then when you're clear on that, your why, when you're clear on that, then ask yourself, every single day, every single minute of the day, everything you do, will that support your why? Is this taking you closer or taking you away? If it's taking you away, shed it, stop it, walk away. I guarantee you, probably up to 80% of your day is spent focused on anything else that's taking you away from your why and not towards your why. Guarantee it. Because I'll tell you why. Because not until you realize it, and not until you ask yourself the question, not until you open that dialogue for yourself, do you actually think, holy moly, how did it get like this? Because we get so caught up in life, we live life unconsciously competent. Now, that's a thing. Don't get me going on that. That's a thing. Unconsciously competent is something that we want to strive for. Absolute rubbish. The more unconsciously competent you are, the more blah you are. Seriously, no, man. You do not want to be living unconsciously competent. You want to be living consciously competent. You want to be living life consciously, aware of what you're doing, focused on what you're doing, conscious about every decision you make, to a point where the decisions are irrelevant. You don't need to make decisions because you just know what to do next. It's not a decision, it's a knowing. In fact, here's the thing. One of the biggest indicators for you, one of the biggest signs for you that you are potentially living not congruent with what your true why is or what your true values are, is the number of decisions you have to make every day, every week, every month, every year. That's a really good giveaway. I often talk about language. The language you use, the words you use, and how you use the words. That's one giveaway. But another one is the number of decisions you have to make. Because if you're having to make decisions, that is a very strong indication that you are needing guidance outside of you to know what to do next. When you are inspired from within, when you are focused on what your why is, when you're clear about what your why is, when you use that as your North Star, as your guiding, as your yellow brick path, whatever you want to call it, when you use that, you work and you spend consciously your time on that path, you know what to do. No decisions are necessary. Does that make sense? So that's why when I heard Steve say this morning, hell on earth would be meeting the man or the woman that you could have been. I could absolutely 100% resonate with that. And if you're not very clear on your why, and if you're not using that why as your guiding North Star in everything that you're doing in every moment of your life, which means that you need to be consciously competent about what it is you're doing and how you're doing it, why you're doing it, when you're doing it, you run the risk of being in hell. Guys, I've been there, I've done it. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that heaven is living with the philosophy that you'd rather have the whole world against you than your own soul. Because here's the thing, it doesn't actually happen. It doesn't actually happen. That's the irony of it. That is the irony of it. Because when you, it's a way of living. You'd rather have the whole world against you than your own soul. There's a way of living. It's honoring yourself, honoring your soul. It is what that does is it's stopping your ego from stopping you from honoring your soul, honoring yourself. Because in actual fact, when you are working or living or being in that state, honoring yourself, your soul, your heart, your purpose, your own vision for what you would love your life to be, you won't have the whole world against you. That doesn't happen. But the ego thinks it will. Because the ego thinks, oh no, you need to be liked, or you need to be accepted, or you need to fit in, or you need to do what everyone else does. You need to do and be and have what society says you must be, do, and have. That's all bollocks, and it's all noise. Get through all that. Start honoring yourself, honoring your soul, honoring who you are, your very being, irrespective of what everyone else thinks, wants, or feels you should be. Get through that, and you will actually find that the whole world won't be against you at all. At all. That's an egoic thing. But when you are inspired from within, when you're living in an inspired life, when you're vibrating energetically on that high level, where you are clear on your why and you are living your why every minute of every day, you will not have a world against you. It's not possible. You will be inspiring other people. You will be uplifting people around you. You will be being of massive service and contributing to humanity in a way that you will be phenomenally rewarded for it. In many ways, one of them financially. That is the way in which we build self-worth. That is the way in which we grow our self-worth. That is the way in which we constantly elevate our wealth thermometer. See how it all fits in, guys? And if you are not signed up to the Ninja Trading Challenge that will start on the 11th of November, I've got to ask you a question. Have you given up on your dreams? Have you given up on your dreams? Because if you've given up on your dreams, that's hell, guys. Sign up for the Ninja Trading Challenge, which we're starting on the 11th of November, on Monday next week. This is what is actually a whole host of it. This is what we'll be discussing. This is what we'll be exploring. This is exactly how. This is what I want to get out of the 2 weeks. What have you got to lose? What I want to get out of the 2 weeks that we're together for the 14-day Ninja Trading Challenge will be focused on getting clarity on your why, growing your self-worth, growing your net worth, growing your wealth thermometer, increasing your wealth thermometer, and then also looking at practically how we can apply that in your trading. And so that you can actually practically, successfully, profitably trade as a business. Not just play lip service to it, but to do it. Okay, so I'm putting the link of the Ninja Trading Challenge in here. I'll put it in the comments below, and I really look forward to seeing you there. Join me on Friday because I've got a really interesting topic to talk about on Friday. Something similar to the vein of what we had on Monday and then today, but just taking it a step further. All right, guys, take care. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Bye.